Hello and welcome to Computer Lessons 101. Today I will be covering how to delete the browser history off of your computer. So there are four different browser icons that you'll see in front of you. Those are the four I'll be covering today because they are the most popular. Now you'll see from left to right we're starting with Google's Chrome browser. Then there's Mozilla's Firefox browser, Windows Internet Explorer browser, and lastly we have the Opera Corporation's Opera browser. Now, if you want to skip ahead and go to a video made specifically for your browser, you can just click on one of the icons now. If not, you can just watch this whole video and I'll be covering how to delete the browser history off each of these browsers. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so here we are in Google Chrome. In order to delete the browser history out of Chrome, we are going to go up to the right and click here, and then go down to History. Click on that, and then you'll be able to see the history of basically the sites that I've been to today. Now, if I just want to delete a few particular sites, so let's say I wanted to delete the National Weather Service, I would just go down and check mark that. And then let's say I also want to delete this site, put a check mark there, and then I would just click on remove the selected items here. So I would click on remove selected items, then I would just say yes, remove. And it would just remove those two sites, and as you can see they are no longer here. Now if you wanted to go more in depth and delete basically everything, you can go here, clear browsing data, and you can do the past day, or you can do the past week, or you can do the last 4 weeks, or you can do the beginning of time. And here are your options. You basically have your browsing history and your download history. And if you wanted to go a little more in depth, you can also do the cookies and other site and plugin data. Cookies are basically files with tiny bits of text that are stored on your computer by your web browser. And they're used to identify user preferences on specific websites, and they can also be used to track how often you visit a particular site. But unless somebody's a computer whiz and they go searching through your cookies, most people aren't going to need to delete these. But if you want to remove any absolute trace of any site, you could delete the cookies as well. Just keep in mind that for certain sites, these cookies keep track of your username, so you might have to input your username, again. Then there's also cached images and files. Browser cache is made up of images and data that your browser basically downloads onto your hard disk in order to help pages load faster. So if you visit a website and it has a logo all across the top, rather than download that logo for every page, your browser just stores it on your computer to make that website load faster, or the pages on that website load faster. So it's basically images and files that are stored on your computer to make websites load faster. So you can also delete those if you wanted to. Now, you don't need to delete your passwords, autofill data, hosted app data. You should be fine with everything else. But let's just say I just wanted to do the past hour. I could just do the past hour, and then I would just click on clear browsing data, and everything basically every site I've been to in the past hour would get deleted. Okay, so that's how you clear the history off Google's Chrome browser. Alright, so now we're using the Mozilla Firefox browser. In order to delete the history here, we're going to go to the right top hand corner, click here, and then go to History. Now you'll be able to see the recent history of the websites you visited here, and if you just want to delete one or two of them, you will go to Show All History, and then you'll see the most recent history. As you can see, I've only used this browser for today. So you'll see all the websites here. Now, if there's a particular one you want to delete, let's say I want to delete this cheap flights one, I would left click on it and then right click and go to delete this page, and that would delete that website from my web history. But if you wanted to do all of them, let's say in the past hour or the past 2 hours, you would just close this down, go back here, go to history, and go up to clear recent history. So you'd click on that, and as you can see, it gives you a time range for the last hour. If you click on that, it'll give you last 2 hours, last 4 hours, today, or all the history since you've started using the browser. And of course, you have your options of browsing and download history, which is the most important. And then you have form and search history. You can delete that as well. If you wanted to, you could do cookies and cache as well. But I'm just going to do browsing and download history and form and search history. And I'm going to click clear now. And when I go back and look at my history, it basically cleared all the history that was there. So if I go show all history, I basically have no more history because every site I visited in the past hour. Okay, so that covers how to clear the browser history for Firefox. Alright, so here we are in Windows Internet Explorer. And in order to delete the browser history here, we have a couple options. We can first go to the star up in the top right hand corner, and that will show 3 tabs along with our history tab here. And as you can see, we can view them by date, and since I don't usually use Windows Internet Explorer, there is no history past today because I only visited a couple of sites for this example. So as you can see, these are the websites I visited, and they're listed by the domain. If you want to know which specific pages I visited, we would just click on one of the websites, and you would see the specific web pages I visited on that site. Now if you just want to delete a couple of pages on a site, I would just select the page and then click the right mouse button and go to delete, and that would delete the specific pages I was targeting. Now let's say I want to delete the whole site. I would just right click on the site and click delete, and it'll ask me for a confirmation if I want to delete the history for Hawaii.com, and I will click yes, and that will delete it out of the history there. So if I go back, I will not see Hawaii.com. Now there's another option. If you want to delete the entire history, you can click on the gear and then go down to Internet Options, and you'll see browsing history here, and just click delete, and you will be able to delete all the temporary files. This is basically the cache here, the cookies and website data, the history of the sites you visited, and the download history. So you'd be able to delete all of those. You might even want to do the form data in some cases, and you would just click delete. Now it doesn't give you the option here to delete just the past hour or just the past 3 hours or just the past day. You'd basically be deleting your entire internet browsing history since you started using Internet Explorer. But you can click on that and it will delete all of those, and then you can just click OK. It'll even give you a message here saying that Internet Explorer has finished deleting all the files. Okay, and then we will go back to history and see if there's any history, and there is none, as you can see. Alright, so that covers deleting the browser history for Internet Explorer. Okay, so here we are in the Opera browser, and in order to delete the history here, we're going to have to go to the left top hand corner, click on Opera, and then come down and go to the history here. Just select that and click on it, and you'll be able to see the websites that you visited recently right here. Now if you want to change, you can go to yesterday, last week, or last month, and it'll basically show you those. Now if there's just one particular site you want to delete, or a couple of pages on a particular site, you can just go to the X right here on the right hand side and click on it, and that will just delete certain sites, so you still have the rest of your sites here. Or if you want to delete, just the past hour or maybe the past day, you can go to clear browsing data, and you can do the past hour, past day, past week, past, or 4 weeks, or you can do all of it since you started using the browser. And again, you have your choices. You have clear browsing history, clear download history, delete cookies, empty the cache, clear saved passwords, clear all the saved autofill data. So it's up to you what you want to delete. I'm just going to clear the browsing history and clear download history for the past hour. And I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to go back to history. And as you'll see, I only visited all those sites in the past hour. So now, basically, I haven't used this browser in 2 days. So now the most recent date is Saturday, December 13th. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful for you. And if you like this video, please give it a like and share it. And feel free to leave a comment.